go. Thought I'd stop at this bit because that bit there, that village, town, that's Soyer. Pass across the top there, that's the Col de Soyer. The ride up through Fornaluch is a lot nicer than the main road 1 in 10 to Soyer. If you've only got an hour, and out and back up the Puig Mayor is tough, but I'm gonna crack on for another 15 minutes. Little pickup, 8k climb to go, 7 point something. Thing about staying in Soyer, literally no warm up, straight to the bottom of this, wakes you up. Good morning from sunny Mallorca. Just left the square in Bunyola. Nice little cafe solo on a decent ride. I'm going to pull over and do this. Yeah, 6k's of climbing. I don't want to be chatting up that. As I was saying, here in Mallorca, getting a little bit of product testing time in, a couple of days out the office, a little bit of time off. Why would we bring the Layhams, which is a winter bike? Hola.
Todo bien.
Muy bien, muy bien. Gracias. Kind of brings us on to what is the Layhams and what is it as a winter bike? Muy bien, muy bien. Gracias. Yeah. Friendly. It's lovely. So yeah, what is a winter bike doing on a sunny island where everyone's on high-end road bikes and things like that? It kind of brings us on to what really is the Layhams, and it's quite a difficult one to categorise really, because while it is the perfect winter bike, lots of great materials, geometry, all those reasons, one of the biggest things about it was making a bike that's inspiring to ride. And why that's important for a winter bike is because you spend so much time on a winter bike. You know, you spend more time on a winter bike doing long rides than you would on your race bike. Your race bike is, if you have more than one bike, if you have a race bike, you spend, you know, you keep that for best, you keep your nice racing wheels on it, all that sort of stuff. Winter bike, it should be a good bike, but you know, your race bike is better. But the reality is, a winter bike is more than that. So it makes sense to bring a bike to roads that you know which are different. From a product testing point of view, it makes sense to bring it here because you've got a lot of benchmarks from your own personal knowledge. But then the flip side of that is, is it an inspiring enough bike to ride, to want to take it on holiday, to want to take it, for it to be a best bike? We've ridden it at home for long distances over the course of a winter and a half, really. Myself and Martin and Simon and Andy, loads of us have ridden various iterations of the Layhams in a lot of places, a lot of times. Got a nice sort of 3.5 hour ride now, coffee in Bunyola, over the Orient to Alaro, drop down, across the front, Luceta, Col de Sabataya, up there, Feminea, drop down into Paenza, lunch in Paenza. Those who know Mallorca will know those roads and know kind of how it's a really good, you know, it's part of a classic loop in Mallorca, and it's, you know, it's the sort of roads that are inspiring, and it's why people come here. And if the Layhams as a winter bike fits in somewhere like that, there's not many places that it wouldn't be inspiring to ride. I've rambled on enough now. Let's crack on up this first climb before this espresso wears off. Just after I did the last thing, I bumped into a guy called Ken. Say hello, Ken.
Hey everyone.
Ken works for USA Cycling and does some holiday stuff here, and we've stopped in his village. So where are we?
We are in Mancor de la Valle.
From here I'll go across and Selva and up the Sabataya, over to Feminea and down to the beach. So yeah, just ordered a coffee, gonna do that now. Coffee's always good. Left Ken, very nice guy, but I left him to go home to his real life, and it's climbing the last big climb of the day. Hairpin number 1, Col de Sabataya. Repeat to fade. Views like that almost make the climbing worth it. Almost. Reached the top of the last big one. Just taken a gratuitous bike against the coal side. Got to gram this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, it's just downhill to lunch. Winter bikes. Slightly re-describe this because it's such a great, fun, stable all-rounder. Longer wheelbase rather than tucked up super tight. That longer wheelbase gives you so much stability on the corners. So relaxing to be descending on this. Talking of descending, that's what we're doing next. I'm not going to be getting the camera out particularly on the descent, I'm just going to enjoy it. Welcome to the last little piece from Mallorca. I've said a couple of times already that we wanted to bring the bike over here and test ride it in somewhere a little bit different. The bike was kind of designed as the ultimate winter bike. The reality of that is it's the ultimate long distance bike. A lot of the time some of the longest rides you end up doing are when you go abroad to go on a cycling holiday or to go and do an event somewhere. Looking back over my Strava and Garmin Connect, and you know, going back to training diaries 15 years ago when it was all handwritten. My high mileage stuff is almost always when I've been abroad. It's difficult to do long rides in the winter in the UK, really long rides, because you're wrapped up super warm, it's cold out so you can't stay out for as long. It kind of got me thinking a little bit, how would it be as a bike for special occasions or for taking away on holiday with you, and it being your best bike, being, you know, your one bike that is perfect, you use for everything. Being stainless steel, it is a step above in terms of price, And that also made us think, you know, this it's got to offer something really exciting and make you inspiring to ride. We've done a lot of miles and a lot of Ks. The first generation stainless frame and the second generation stainless. We've put a lot of time into the testing of this. There's a little bit about that. We did a video on it, so you can. There's going to be a link here. And Mallorca's perfect for me personally because I've been coming here on and off for 25 years. It's like riding on local roads, but local roads that have 25, you know, there's a succession of 25-minute climbs which run into 15-minute descents which are either super fast or really technical, and there's rough roads and there's super smooth roads and there's fast roads, and it's somewhere that I know like the back of my hand, so it feels local, but I can do the sort of riding that I can't do at home. Great as Kent is, and it's really varied. You don't have 14-kilometre climbs with similar length downhill. So I've test ridden every frame I've ever designed has been test ridden on these roads in one form or another. It's always ends up being part of the process. Kind of surprised me a little bit. The geometry is quite similar to the Pilgrims, which I've ridden over here, but it has a little bit more zip than a Pilgrims. The frame weight's actually really similar. There's probably, you know, 100 grams in it at the most. And I guess, kind of long story long, it's really pleasing to know how nice the Layhams has been on really nice posh holiday dream rides, as well as on my local lanes. When it gets back from here, summer tyres will come off, the 28s will go on, the mud guards will go on, and it will, you know, the character will change. It's going to end up being a real all-rounder and a real sort of a great endurance bike, I guess. Difficult to find a one-word label for bikes that do lots of things very well, but basically boils down a very rambling way of just saying it's been a real pleasure to ride. 6 or 7 times a year I'd be over here, and I do a lot of riding over here, and I knew the roads really well. The last couple of times I've only been once or twice a year, and it hasn't been for training camps where you're doing 700 or 800k a week. The kind of edge of the limit descending it's not there like it used to be when I rode here all the time. Your skills, you need practice on that stuff. And this time it's been probably one of the first times where I've got a lot closer to that edge on there. And there's been some stuff on some of the Strava things that I've pinned up. I mean, I haven't been really pushing it hard because I've been out riding on my own, so it's kind of a bit reckless to push it to the limit. It's definitely been the closest to finding the edge in it, and that comes down to confidence, not just in the tyres, but the confidence in the bike, and that confidence and love of descending. It's come back on this trip. That can only really be down to the geometry of the bike. So I don't really know how I'm trying to say. I set out to design the ultimate winter bike, as Rich Land once called it. You know, the ultimate winter bike is a search for a unicorn. From testing over the winter, we found the unicorn. What I didn't expect is for that unicorn to be so good. Who knew unicorns were mountain goats? That's pretty much it. Who knew unicorns were mountain goats? But it turns out they are. As we watch the sun go down one last time over the mountains from here, it's time to say thank you for watching another Between the Lines video. There may not have been a huge amount of new, or there was no Q&A session, there was maybe no real technical insight. Hopefully there's kind of been a bit of a personal insight into what it is that I'm looking for when I'm designing bikes, where it is they get tested, as well as locally, obviously. And I hope you enjoyed some of the scenery around Mallorca from the Balearic Layhams adventure. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Really does help us, helps other people find the video. If you want to see some more of this stuff, give a subscribe. If you've got any questions about anything about the bike at all really, or anything about Mallorca, riding in Mallorca, Facebook, Instagram messages, or in the comments below. Until the next time, we'll say adios and hasta luego.